We're back for another TVGP Game Club of the Year episode. I'm your host, Boston, and joining me as always is Moonpier.
Hi, I think it's time we started this intervention about how Boston has a problem.
Ranking my favorite interventions you guys have held for me, starting at number 5, and Musum.
Hello.
If this is the first year you're listening to kind of our wrap up Game Club episode, as Moon so thinly veiled, I love ranking stuff, and I've roped these guys into yet another ranking. So we're going to rank all 11 games that we have played for this past year of Game Club. We're going to do this in chronological order, and we're just going to figure out which one is better than the others. The ones at the bottom should feel badly about themselves. I'm kidding. They're not all Tokyo 42. But we're going to figure out what the games we loved this year.
Still.
That's right. Sunday
Tokyo
Morning RPG.
42 gets all of the hate, and then Saturday Night RPG doesn't even get a look in.
Saturday Morning RPG, I try not to think about in general, which is like a lower tier than that. Anyways, we have hopefully had a better year for games than those years. But we're going to go through and we're going to figure out which games we loved the most here in the list. So let's just get started here at the very top with Pentiment. Good job, number 101. You're in the list. So that was our January game. February's game we have here is Signalis, the survival horror, lo-fi, PS1, smoochin' androids game we played for February. Do we think that Signalis is better than Pentiment?
This month is going to be this year it's going to be so difficult to rank.
I'll be
honest, there's a couple of easy ones in here. I'm not going to lie, but we'll get to that when we get there.
Yeah, anyway, I think I'm more partial to Signalis, than Pentiment. I thought Pentiment was super, super interesting, but it's also, it's real slow to get to get anywhere.
It's so long.
Yeah,
it's also very long.
Yeah.
Also, I did get a game-breaking bug and couldn't beat it, so
that's true.
Signalis goes ahead of it.
Wow. Okay. I feel the opposite. I thought Pentiment was much better than Signalis, but Signalis isn't really historically my jam. I think it's an incredible game, and stylistically, very few things will beat it this year.
Yes,
but I think Pentiment is a pretty strong game. But I will put Signalis above Pentiment here.
That's right, because this is a democracy, Boston.
That's right. I've been outvoted, and I'm okay with that. Next game here is Norco. Is Norco better than Pentiment? Life's great questions.
I already know I'm going to lose this battle. I love Norco so much. I would put it ahead
of Norco's better than both of them. Just bump it right to the top right now.
Wow. Wild swings.
You need to voice your dissent, Boston?
My dissent is I don't think it's better than either one of those. It's the hard part is we've played 11 games this year, and almost all of them are outstanding. So it's I'm not really mad that Norco is first or second or third or whatever, because you should go play it. It's incredible. For my personal list, I don't think it would be featuring as high, but I will put it here.
You would flip it.
This is one of the better Game Club years, man.
Looking at this list of games we played this year. Whew. Lot of real good stuff. So our list as stands right now, Norco, Signalis, and Pentiment in that order. Next game here is Islanders. This is a game we played in April. This was it calls itself a minimalist city builder. This is the kind of, you have a small island, you're building a city on it, that kind of city builder puzzle sort of thing.
This is easy. I can take this one. This one stays at the bottom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really good.
It's fun, but it's not deep. It's not long. It's
not on the same level as a lot of this other stuff is.
This is arguably this is the bottom one. Do we want to just to smooth the process a little bit? All future games just insert it right above Islanders and go from there. Agreed?
I'm fine with that. Islanders is great. You should go play it. just by definition, it's the weakest of the games we played this year.
Yeah, I think so.
But it's good.
Yeah. Yes, it's fun, and it has like a speed running process in it, and like all kinds of other stuff. It's a fun little game.
It's true. Oh boy, next one, Ghostwire Tokyo. Is this better? Okay, does this belong at the top?
Yes.
Question.
Yes. That game is so good.
Boston.
Yes, this
did
would
not
be
know what we were in store for.
Yeah, this would probably be my number one as well, at the moment.
It goes to the top.
We were just
And
talking about.
It's not me dissenting. That is universal. We all think it's better than everything else on the list so far.
We were just talking about this on our Picking Up the Pixels recap of the games, RPGs we played in 2023, and was reminding myself how much I came into this game hating it,
Expecting
kind of
nothing
on paper, and then came out of it being like, yeah, it's incredible. Everyone should go play it. Ghostwire Tokyo.
I'm pretty sure we spent 3 years making fun of it as being that weeaboo game. Whenever a trailer got shown for it.
I hate games where people are like waving their hands in first person in the camera, and I was just like, well, I'm not going to play that. That's going to be annoying. Nope, it's really great. It's super good.
And if you can, get the Game of the Year edition, whatever it is, the Game Pass edition has the DLC. And play the DLC story, specifically the school stuff, because oh boy, if you want to be creeped out, that is the place to do it. Thank you, Musum, for pointing that out on our episode.
One of the creepiest moments in a game, man.
Yeah. Yeah, please go play Ghostwire Tokyo. I think it's still on Game Pass and PS Plus, so you own it somewhere already, and you probably have it free on Epic Game Store, because that seems like the thing that always happens, so you should go check that out. I think that's...
I thought Microsoft didn't Bethesda publish it, and Microsoft owned Bethesda, so therefore it's always going to be on Game Pass at this point?
Probably. Yeah, I guess that's a good silver lining.
With the weird limited exclusivity to PlayStation, because the contract was written beforehand.
Before the buyout.
That's true. All right, next game here, Werewolf Apocalypse: The Heart of the Forest. This is that visual novel RPG werewolf game, the better than Coteries of New York sort of game that we played. Have this here above Islanders, of course, as we have already decided. Is Werewolf better than Pentiment?
I liked it better than Pentiment. But I'd be open to arguments against, because Pentiment still did some really interesting things, I think, with conversation and storytelling.
I think Pentiment does what Werewolf tried to do better. I think it takes that light character building sort of RPG style of, here are the things you're going to pick, here's the decisions you're going to make. You get additional dialogue choices, or you get locked out of choices because of the character background and style that you've picked, which I think Werewolf was trying to go for, but I don't think it got all the way there in like Pentiment did. I think part of the reason why Pentiment could get there in the end was because it was significantly longer than Werewolf by like 4 times. It is a long game overall.
Yes.
And I think that works for Pentiment, but I think that's maybe a vote in the it's an item in the con list for Pentiment, which is also maybe can feel like it's a little bit too long.
I mean, I'm aware of who I'm in a call with here. I'm 100% aware. So when I say this, I don't mean it to be derogatory. But Werewolf is a visual novel. That's exactly what it is. It's not a Japanese-made visual novel, which means it's not 60 hours long and the equivalent of reading the encyclopedia. It is an American-made visual novel, so it's short, compact, and meant to be replayed a lot. I think Pentiment takes like the idea of a visual novel and just turns it on its head in so many different ways, because it's pretty much a visual novel too.
Well, and it's like the It's like if you took a point and click adventure game from the 90s and kind of cleaned it up, made it more friendly, and put RPG elements on top of it, and then kind of made the story more of the forefront. Is kind of how I think of Pentiment. Where like Werewolf, they're trying. Werewolf seemed like it tried to do the thing that Citizen Sleeper did, which is kind of taking a tabletop RPG and wrapping more narrative on top of it. So it kind of marries a tabletop RPG with the length of a visual novel, which I think Werewolf tried to do, but I don't think was as successful as Citizen Sleeper was.
Yeah, but I'm fine with it sticking below Pentiment.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. All right, Chicory, A Colorful Tale. We played this in July for episode 109. This is the friendly dog fights depression through painting video game. Is Chicory better than Werewolf Apocalypse: The Heart of the Forest?
I think so.
I'm going to go ahead and vote yes.
Yeah. I think Chicory's doing a lot of interesting things. Pharaoh and chat actually in Discord mentioned something which got to me at first too, which was that OCD desire to just make sure there isn't a scrap of white in the game
Right.
at all.
Gotta paint it all.
Once I got over that, it was fine. Once I got over that, it was really, really good.
Mm.
I don't know, it's fun. It's again relaxing, which we kind of need.
Yeah.
It's relaxing. It's fun. It's very inviting as well to many different types of players, which is something I think that we can't overstate enough. As nerd / game culture has taken over everything and is now just culture, apparently. Like the fact that we have games like this that welcome new people in, and there is like literally a zero barrier for entry in it too. Like it's just a genuinely fun and enjoyable little time.
It's a cool co-op game too, with the additional players playing as not Pizza herself, Pizza the dog herself, but as additional brushes, which is kind of fun. And I think one of the more interesting games that I've played about self-doubt and creativity and the process of making art and kind of what that means and how generational trauma affects you and what you're responsible for in a way that I don't think I had ever realized that that's kind of the core of the game, and the game really did address it in a way that I thought was really well done and really tastefully done.
Yeah.
I don't have a lot to say about Chicory just because that was one of the ones I did not beat.
Mm-hmm.
I remember a lot of the depression and things like that, and it seemed like it was done really well. And the gameplay seemed neat, but I don't know that I got very far in that one.
Yeah.
So I'll just trust your guys' judgment.
I would put it above Werewolf, I think. Is Chicory better than Pentiment?
Personally, yes.
Boy, these are such different games, but I think I would probably put it above Pentiment. I'm trying to think of why. Maybe because it's overall a snappier, more approachable game. I think that has a lot to. As much as I love Pentiment, I think Chicory goes above it for me. Is Chicory better than Signalis? Very similar games.
Yes.
Resident Evil 1 and Chicory.
Personally, I think it is, yes. I enjoyed everything I played about in Chicory.
I think I can agree with that. Is Chicory better than Norco?
No.
Oh, okay.
I really remember me being the main one who liked Norco. I'm surprised by that.
Yeah, I don't think it clicked with me, and as the game went on, I think it sort of did less and less for me. Um, I would be okay with keeping Chicory here. I think um, both of these games are incredible for vastly different reasons, um, but I don't think this is the hill I die on for uh, Chicory versus Norco. So I think you should play both of them. Next game here, August's game, The Bookwalker Thief of Tales. This is that isometric puzzle game, jumping into and out of books title that we played.
It's a really good game.
It's a really good game. I put it above Islanders here on the list. This list, is it better than Werewolf Apocalypse: The Heart of the Forest?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think just for the imagination in those worlds, it's going to gain some places.
Is The Bookwalker better than Pentiment? Two book-focused games, oddly enough.
I don't think it's a better game. I prefer it above Pentiment.
Oh, okay.
I definitely like it better than Pentiment. But it may just be a personal thing. Like a lot of what I love about Pentiment is in the second and third acts.
Mm-hmm.
Because that first act is a slog.
Yeah, like once the mystery starts to unfold, then it's sort of like, oh, okay, now I see where Pentiment's going.
Yeah. But Bookwalker, you get this super weird world where you literally go into books, and here's a world that's in a desert where emotions have storms that destroy things, and everyone has a train that they drive out, and here's a world that is like all Asgardian themed, except it's all robots and facilities and no one's alive. And
yeah, that was a fun one.
A weird Harry Potter-esque world where magic doesn't really matter in the world and it's a real thing, and they made up all these really intricate, I don't know.
Right.
I know you don't have any choices in the Bookwalker, but gosh, I love, like, I would 100 if I were sitting down thinking, I feel like playing Bookwalker or Pentiment, I would probably choose Bookwalker most of the time, unless I just want to experiment with how can I affect. I'm trying to remember, what is it? It's the friend's daughter that you can affect how she grows up a little bit, or something like that in Pentiment. I don't know. Pentiment was just, it was really good to experience one time, and I don't know if I want to experience it again or not.
Right. So it sounds like we're putting Bookwalker above Pentiment.
I'm good with it up there.
Okay. Is Bookwalker better than Signalis?
For me, it's a no.
For me, it's a yes. Boston Family Feuders.
I think it goes above Signalis for me. It's really tough because Signalis really nails what it's going for. This kind of like Evangelion meets Sad Androids meets Resident Evil 1 and 2. Like it really does nail that stuff really well. But the more we keep talking about Bookwalker, the more that I'm remembering, like, yeah, when you break out of the environment in the first area and it's just like a staging scientific
it's a
area.
weird future fake book.
Yeah, like that one where you're on a ship that's going around the universe with Excalibur. Like there's so much creative, cool stuff in that game that it makes it such a unique, singular thing that and I mean, so is Signalis for that matter, but I think for me, Bookwalker goes above Signalis, just as a really cool, special thing.
You know, it has infinitely more creativity than Signalis, which is Signalis is not that it's unoriginal, but
Yeah.
they very clearly set out to do a mechanics system that has been done before,
Right.
and most of the story elements in that you've kind of experienced in one way or another somewhere else, even though it's kind of their own original mishmash of it.
Mm-hmm. If you watched Evangelion, you sort of know how that's going to go. All right, so I'll put that above Signalis. Is the Bookwalker better than Chicory? My knee jerk is no. I think Chicory is a kind of a more cohesive thing, but I think that is largely boiling down to preference. So, what say you, gents?
Tough one, honestly. Like
this is a very close one.
Yeah, I gotta approach Chicory from a really kind of objective standpoint, since I didn't, I maybe saw a quarter of that game. I don't know, maybe got halfway through. Like mechanic and world wise, like it really had a honestly kind of almost an Eichenfeld feel for me.
Yeah.
Granted, I don't know. We're arguing really great games. Like Eichenfeld would be like way up high, and Chicory would be a little bit lower. But they did try for something interesting and new. I just don't know that. I don't know. Either I need to go back and put Chicory on easy, or go watch a video to see the rest of the story, because I'm curious about the storing, but I didn't really enjoy playing it, if I'm honest.
Right, like getting to that point wasn't super fun.
Yeah, and I could see how it could be a lot of fun for people. I don't know. Maybe I need to rediscover my draw things and color things.
Your artistic side.
Yeah.
Moon, what do you think?
I'm okay with it staying here, but I'm also okay with it going ahead. So if we think it's a stay here, we can leave it here.
I think the general vibe is it stays here at number 4. Unless anyone feels super strongly, I think that's the gist here.
I'm good with that.
All right, let's talk about September's game, Venba. This is the cooking game, the cool stylized Indian cooking game. We've got here Above Islanders, of course. Is Venba better than Werewolf Apocalypse: Heart of the Forest?
Yes.
Yes. Scooch. Is Venba better than Pentiment?
Yes. It is such a good story told so tightly.
Yes. Is Venba better than Signalis? Venba made me cry, so yes.
Venba goes pretty high on my list. So.
Yes, it is.
Is Venba better than The Bookwalker: Thief of Tales? Yes.
I prefer Bookwalker, but it's better.
Scooch. Is Venba better than Chicory?
For me, yes.
Yes.
Ditto. Is Venba better than Norco?
Yes.
Yeah.
Scoop.
Sorry, clown makeup detective guy.
That's right. That's right. Is Venba better than Ghostwire Tokyo?
No.
Yeah, that's.
I mean, this is the most apples and oranges decision you'll probably ever make. Recognizing
this 2-hour
that
game.
Yeah.
About cooking versus this 40-hour game. Maybe not 40.
The thing for me is, like, Venba is such a cool generational cooking culture, immigrant, like, fantastic family story that's so good and has some incredibly good looking food. it will probably be very high on my personal top 10 list whenever I get around to figuring out what that looks like.
I keep thinking about looking
Same.
up some of that cookware, man. Like
Yeah,
2024, I'm gonna learn to cook something
that's right.
from India.
I think I'm okay leaving it at number 2 under Ghostwire Tokyo. It's really the tough part is like half of the games on this list are something really special. I mean, just like Chicory, I've never played a game like Venba before. Like we've played, family stories. We've played kind of point and click things. It's essentially like a point and click puzzle game, but it's just so good, and it nails everything in, was it 2 to 3 hours? Like a handful of recipes, and that's kind of in and out. But it's so
Yeah,
impactful
roughly.
in what it's doing.
I mean, and how often does the storyteller know which parts to leave out and show the repercussions of?
There's a
Right.
there's a few time skips in that game, and it feels like they are deliberately chosen.
Yeah.
Like it's so many games and movies and TV shows just tell you too much, and this one does the right amount.
Yeah. Absolutely. So it sounds like we're okay leaving it at number 2 then.
I feel that we've mostly just said a bunch of positive stuff about Venbu, haven't
That's
we?
true.
If you guys want to bump it to number 1, take it to number 1. That is absolutely fine.
I think
It
I'm
is an
okay with it.
amazing game.
I think I'm okay with it being number 2. I shock of all shocks from me, I think it's going to be really hard to beat Ghostwire Tokyo.
Like, Ghostwire Tokyo may not quite have the emotional, deep story that Venbu has, but it has an amazing world. I mean, it's comedy versus drama in a way, right?
Sure.
Like,
Yes.
Ghostwire is very comedic many times over. It does not take itself seriously in a myriad of ways and has fantastic combat.
Having said that, like I agree completely. Like the majority of Ghostwire is hilariously dumb. You ride a motorbike to fight the spirit demons is hilarious to
That's
me.
right.
But that moment when you beat that game and you say goodbye to the cop guy who you were with, that is a gut punch. And like learning that his ex took in the main bad guy's daughter kind of situation, and that whole storyline is really good too.
Mm-hmm. I think my only criticism of the story of Ghostwire Tokyo is I think you're right. I think the end, it finally gets there, but along the way, sort of from the point of no return from that game, the story kind of doesn't it doesn't earn so much. Like, what am I trying to say? It has a hard time kind of delivering the level of story that I think it could. And I think it gets close. In the end, I think they kind of nail the very ending, but I think they have a tough time getting there. I'm also writing a note here, record a spoiler warning for the beginning.
I'd honestly forgotten I hadn't beat Ghostwire until this very conversation, because I'd played that game so much, but I was just doing all the side quests and
Yeah.
Anyway.
Okay, it sounds like we're okay there with Venba number 2.
Yeah.
All right, Amnesia Rebirth is our next game here. We played that in October, appropriately a spooky month for a spooky game. Is Amnesia Rebirth better than Werewolf Apocalypse?
It's a no for me.
Oh.
Austin?
I didn't play enough of it. I could go either way. They both feel like they have the same something about them, where they're kind of lower budget. They're doing the best they can with this thing, and it gets there a lot of the time, but it kind of doesn't get there a lot of the time at the same time. ugh. Well, to use a We Roguelike It's Science phrase, it's not going to go higher than Pentiment. So, is it here or the next slot up? I think is the real question.
I agree with it not going higher than Pentiment.
Right.
So Amnesia, from my perspective, I did not enjoy playing that game. Like I enjoyed some of the story aspects of it, but it's shaky cam the game in a lot of ways because they really kind of go overboard with you tripping over yourself. And the cave areas in particular, they didn't do anything for me. Like they didn't scare me; they were just annoying.
Right.
Whereas like Werewolf the Apocalypse, like all three of us had entirely different stories. Like when we talked about that game,
Yeah.
like
True.
I said it on Pup, I'm just biding my time so that I have forgotten enough of the game so that I will definitely make different choices. And go
Right.
in and be like, this is going to be my, instead of middle of the road dialogue option, I'm going to be the anger option or the non-anger option, you know? And
Right.
see where that gets me. It is too short. It has to, it obviously doesn't wrap up as abruptly as the vampire one we did, but
Right.
it still happens pretty quick. It's like you get your vampire powers, and then an hour later you're done.
And the
Or
story's over.
werewolf.
Bye.
But like I love the artwork in Werewolf the Apocalypse. I love the. I enjoyed the main character. I want to say I love the music, but I don't remember the music.
That's
What I'm
one thing
talking
I
about.
always forget about it. I like the style of Werewolf Apocalypse a lot. It has a very interesting kind of sketchy, almost painted sort of style to it. It does a lot with a little, which I think is pretty impressive.
But I don't. Amnesia is also another one I didn't beat. You know, I went and
Yeah.
watched a story summary of. I think in time for the podcast, which I love. You know, Lovecraftian monster things, and the story. It sounds so cool. I just wish I enjoyed playing it more, and I may
Right.
play it again someday and put it on the nothing can hurt you in the dark mode, just so I can
Oh,
get through
right.
it.
It
But
sort of
Moon, I
sounds like
feel like
it stays here,
I'm okay with it staying there.
unless either of you guys have a impassioned
I would
speech
put
you have.
I would put it above it, but
Do you want
I
to
also
state your
know that
case?
no. I'm
Okay.
the I'm
Fair
the
enough.
I'm the guy who likes the spooky games in this group. So
Right. All right, and our final game here, the one we just played last month,
Boston.
Cocoon. Yes.
I have no idea where this goes. Like, straight up, I have no idea where this
Man,
goes in this
I
list.
don't either.
Yeah, same.
All right, let's start here at the bottom then. Is Cocoon better than Amnesia Rebirth?
Yes.
Yes.
Don't even ask the next question. Yes.
Scoot, scoot. Is Cocoon better than Pentiment? So if you're not watching the video version, I just put it above Werewolf Apocalypse Heart of the Forest. Is Cocoon better than Pentiment? Yes.
Yes.
Jinx. Is Cocoon better than Signalis?
In my opinion, yes.
I'm going to say yes, too.
It's hard to argue with Signalis, since Signalis is just going for PS1, and
Right.
Cocoon is going for a puzzle game, but it feels like a new and fresh take since they mess with your perspective so much.
Right. A puzzle game made out of insect parts.
Yes.
And it's also like super unique.
Yeah.
Like, when did Inception the movie come out? And we still haven't had a game like that until now.
True. That's a good point. All right, is Cocoon better than The Bookwalker Thief of Tales?
In my heart, no.
Yeah, what Moon said there.
It's tough because both of them are unique.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Cocoon's definitely a more like I love Bookwalker more, but Cocoon is more a solid game.
It is a better game by far than the Bookwalker, but the Bookwalker is the quintessential Alpha Protocol Award recipient.
Yes, very much like the best B game we played this year. We say that with love.
The flawed gem of
Yes,
the list, we'll say.
right.
Boston,
Still
do you think
mind-blowing
Cocoon
to me.
goes above it?
I think Cocoon goes over Bookwalker. It's interesting how much DNA the two of these share, where they're largely straightforward-looking
How
puzzle
about jumping
games.
into things?
Yeah, right. With that are puzzle game focused, that have such a cohesive style to them. Like both of them have consistent styles to them, which I think I was the most surprised with Bookwalker, where the whole thing is stylistically consistent. I just
Yeah.
I think
That guy
Cocoon.
always looking at neighbors and stuff is hilarious, though.
Yeah, I think
I need a
Cocoon.
shovel. I need an axe. I need a
Right.
fire extinguisher.
I'll bring him back. Don't worry. I think for me, Cocoon is a more interesting puzzle game than the Bookwalker. Because I think Bookwalker is okay, but it reminds me a lot of like I said, the 90s kind of point and click adventure games where put this thing with this thing and then you use it and go to this area and solve a puzzle and then go somewhere else. With Cocoon, you have orb inception and juggling orbs for 6 hours or so.
So
You went into
I
a book
think
inside a book in Bookwalker.
Oh, that's right.
you did. You
It's
did.
true.
Oh, did you? Oh, yeah, you do. Don't
Yeah,
you?
the very, very end. I forgot about that. Yeah.
Okay, so how about this? Because I think I can speak for both me and Musen when I say this.
Okay.
I think Cocoon goes above Bookwalker, but we want it documented on the record our reluctance to do so.
If you guys feel very strongly about Cocoon being under Bookwalker, this is another fight that I'm not gonna die on this hill. Because
But I think that's the problem. Is I think both me and Musen had the exact same reaction, which is, yeah, it's better, but no, we'd rather play Bookwalker.
right, and I respect that. I think in the face of both of you guys feeling the same way, then I'm okay with Cocoon staying there at number 6. Because, like we said, this whole list is full of bangers. Like, it was a hell of a year. So,
we didn't have a single game we hated this year. Like, that's amazing.
That's true.
First time in like at least 4 or 5 years.
That's right.
Ever?
Right. Yeah, maybe ever. All right, well, it sounds like we have our list here. Let's start from the bottom and go to the top. Number 11 is Islanders, followed by Amnesia Rebirth, Werewolf Apocalypse, The Heart of the Forest, Pentiment, Signalis, Cocoon, The Bookwalker, Thief of Tales, Chicory, A Colorful Tale. Number 3 is Norco. Number 2 is Venba. And number 1 is Ghostwire Tokyo. That is a hell of a list.
This is wild.
Yeah, if you wanted
also,
to...
Boston, just some props here for Boston. He did a Google Doc of all of these games, so we could basically see what we were talking about and refresh the memory. It's a shame you can't put that entire thing in show notes.
Yeah, I wonder if I could. I can't. I don't even think I can put it on screen. But yeah, it was largely just here's the game, like the description from Steam and like a logo and 3 or 4 screenshots, because a lot of these were going to be like, oh, Islanders, that was
I would not have
that
remembered
game.
Signalis if not for
right, like
that title screen.
There's always going to be at least a couple games every year where it's like, oh yeah, yep, I remember that one. Cough, cough, cough. But yeah, man, just a really great. We lucked out this year. We've had some high highs with the last, at the very least, last year. For the video version here, I can scroll over to 2021 and 2022 lists. Like last year's top game was Life is Strange True Colors, followed by Tunic and Escape Academy. Like we had a great year last year too, but we were pretty lucky that we got a lot of really great games this year, and we got 11.
Hold on.
11
We
goes.
can't celebrate all of the joy. Go show me the crap.
2022's last bottom game was Far Changing Tides. 2021's bottom was Bard's Tale.
Bard's Tale. Yeah.
2020 was Saturday Morning RPG, and 2019 was Tokyo 42.
Yeah.
So Islanders, a lot better than a lot of those. Islanders is pretty all right. Yeah. So all in all, I think we had a pretty good 2023. I'm excited to check out all the cool games for 2024. I want to thank both Moon and Musum for playing 11 games this year. Thankfully, a lot of them were on Game Pass, so the wallet hopefully took less of a hit than usual.
It did.
Yeah, but appreciate it nonetheless. And I want to thank everybody who's listened to all these episodes, played the games with us. It really does mean a lot, at the very least for you guys to listen, if not to play 11 cool games alongside us. And if you want to come chat with us about these games every month, come join the Discord server. We have a game club channel to chat about the game every month. And the best community on the internet is all over there chatting about games and other stuff, food, a lot, you know us, pretty much all the time. Thank you very much, everyone, for listening, and we'll see you all next month. Bye.
Bye.